Ooh. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry. Alright, let's continue onward. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to learn something I shouldn't. Or at least, that's how I figured I would feel if I learned to listen to the rest. One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was, you know where the road in town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope on the shoulder, around there. There were a few streetlights on that road. Its pitch black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitake-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomitake-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered by the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. Oh, God. Oh, no. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails! As in fingernails? With those, he clawed through? From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was with his own nails. What? Huh? What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder, it was suicide. Tomitake-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat? As hard as he could with his own nails? Tore through the skin until he started to bleed? And even then, Tomitake-san didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that it could have peeled off his nails, still clawing. Then, as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued clawing. Spurt! Blood spattered on the ground around him as he bled, while grasping for breath. He collapsed, his body spasmed, and then he died in agony. We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. But this, it was a suicide. I've never heard of such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was it? The way he died, in these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show both myself and Tomitake-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There were a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on, we concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in sound state of mind while clawing out their own throat. Wounds on his hands matched a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees and the guardrails within. Tomitake-san's blood was found all over the place, meaning that while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries, which were not self-inflicted, discovered on Tomitake-san. There's a high probability Tomitake-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there may have been multiple subjects. To summarize, Tomitake-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then, he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m., meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitake-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitake's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that. Oh yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work, and she hasn't returned home either. There is a very high probability that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I could only graze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tomitake-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We had been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitake-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me. Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa. I should have been angry that was the reason he wanted to hear what happened from me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitake died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed far off into the distance. The night of the Watanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's gonna turn out. There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitake-san. Tomitake-san had to have been killed by humans, and a cowardly group no less. There's no way I'm gonna let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment, or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. That's how this must be, Mayabara-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? Neither Tomitake-san nor I believed in curses. But with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomitake-san's death marking the 5th year. Which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitake-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitake-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitake-san could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. But there is nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, he was talking in the future tense. Things or people or rumors, anything is fine. Don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, then leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mired near deep in this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomitake-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfying grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well, especially from Sonozaki-san and Furude-san, please do not inform them. Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friends' names brought up so abruptly, and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to be especially offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Oh no, I don't want to know. Oh no, okay. Shit. Say it! He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There is a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then how did you come to that conclusion? Yeah, I had the same thought earlier. Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that the day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, Because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa? Yeah. First, it was a dam construction foreman. Then, it was a villager that supported it. Those the village hold a grudge against die and one after the other from mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end, the result is the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute. But he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about that housewife after that? Did she die just because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's such a trivial reason to kill someone. Trivial. And what about Tomitake-san? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. Was he killed just because there was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project. But as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims became much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough. Then, next year's victim? They're just gonna be picked out of the village outsider pool? It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by, oh... This novel is killing me. I swallowed my words. Here, in Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then, the next victims, my family. Was he saying it was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the dam protests, quite fervently so. There is also true of Mion Sonozaki-san herself. Has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first I've heard of her family leading the protests, though. Then, well, that's probably why she don't want to talk about it. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with this string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. It felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. Yeah. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it well enough. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's the curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reason behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with the curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. And none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me, so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them so they don't have to worry? I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man he had wanted, as insipid as it was, but it couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine? Mr... Oh, that's a hard name. Uishi? Oishi? From the Okinawa police station. You can call me Kura-chan if you want. No. No, it's not. I would much rather say Kura-chan. Oishi is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retaining hints of politeness. He was the spitting image of a vulgar police officer. Though, I've never seen one this bulky before in cop shows I watched. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click, and in streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat, as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Mayabara-san. There's enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything. But I'm no detective. Then what are you? Oh, he's a reporter. Jesus Christ. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on. Oh wait, so he's a cop, not a detective. That's what it is. Just go on living as you have up until now. Okay, good. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Mayabara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomitake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was the possibility of a village conspiracy? Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved. Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Reina, Satoko, or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomitake-san. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here, somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's Me-chan, the perpetrator. Huh? I was starting to hear Reina's voice. With the rope in the, lounge. Bwahahaha. Nope. No! Reina clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over here. Wow, man, it just goes back to normal. Ah! Keiichi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Ah, sorry about that. I was called in the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behavior? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game the last one. If I remember right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided that I'm going to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1. How the heck? Her score is lower than mine, and I wasn't even playing. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Reina alone, or Kei-chan and Reina. Yeah, right. Just let Reina do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know? You know? Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry about that. Alright, let's do this. I followed my initial plan of showing Reina my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call. I got it! The murderer is me! With the poison at the entrance. Is it? Is it? My, Reina, quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark? Oh? Reina's correct. Oh, so that means we're tied. Then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. Ha 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 ha. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Then that's game. It's me, Mion Sonozaki, ranked first. In dead last are Keiichi Mayabara and Reina Ryugu. Everyone applauded and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty. What will she make us buy, I wonder? Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Do 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 do. Whoa, there's a lot written here. A lot? Damn it! What is she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo, her own personal. That's her own personal shopping list. Shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. The heck is this? It looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Me was certain she was gonna win today. Rule 7 of our society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Thanks. This is just your grocery list? I promised myself if I won the next one, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream. Oh, is that the end? You have received tips. You've received new tips. There are more than 4 perpetrators. Search notice. Alright, so let's do these tips. Ooh, achievement unlocked. Not a clue. View new tips. Alright, there are more than 4 perpetrators? Hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails. Not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars are also matches. Yeah! I know the... Whoa, okay, that's creepy. Maybe that was like more like a yeah. I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. You're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. Some of Tomitake's fingernails had been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out one's own nails. But it really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. Also, there were a lot of bruises on Tomitake's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before the death. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he had become? The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. Yeah, I think so. It is possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine. Of course, those are very rare cases. Actually, Oishi-kun, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon, they only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibers or skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants. Or it could be that they took the plank he was fighting back with. In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. Har har har. That's true. Tomitake is pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. That's right. He was pretty active. I can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he would be difficult to overpower in the brawl. If a man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around quickly, it's just unthinkable that it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator, and his opponent was unharmed. This guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he hit him at least once. To surround and take down someone of his physique, I wonder how many people it would take. Yeah, dimwit. You should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to takes down big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I'd guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Then there were quite a few perpetrators. So any drunken disorderly groups of more than 4 are suspects? A group of 4 or more. Just... if they had that many, they couldn't have hidden the body in a less obvious location? Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. That's under serious consideration on my end too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. I'm not hoping for much, but I am looking forward to the results. Oyashiro-san, the chief is calling you. Thanks. See you around. Yeah. Best wishes. Alright. Search notice. Jiro Tomitake, deceased. Resided in a cheap hotel in Shishibone City. Registered under the name Jiro Tomitake. Pen name. Travels via folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of the forest path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takano. Was seen around 9 p.m. by police, location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week, each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence? From the contents of his wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba, along the Sobu National Railway lines. No individual matching the name Jiro Tomitake in the residency records of any of the Tokyo wards. Compared teeth to dental records. Sent to Metro Police. Attach a photo. Sent to Metro Police. Contacting Mir magazines regarding Jiro Tomitake. Mio Takano, missing. Nurse at Erie Clinic. Became close to Tomitake through her passion for wild bird photography. Resides in Okinomiya X District XXX. Single. Witnessed accompanying Tomitake on the festival grounds, currently missing. Abducted? Or maybe a suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy? Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Oishi. Alright, so with that, that's where we're going to end this episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.